Good morning, ladies. Good morning, online audience. Good morning, everybody. Today is another episode of Bold TV. Beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities, where we talk about disabilities and issues related to disabilities. So this program comes to you every Saturday by 10 a.m. This program is being powered by Bold Heart Initiatives and with 5 women that anchors it. So if you enjoy this program and you like this program and you want to continue, you can sponsor the program. And also if you want to participate, you can call on the 5 ladies so I will tell you more about the program, how you can participate. We have Freki, we have Afyong, we have Tomise, Biose, and I, Osaki. And also, the program is something that will continue and continue. So we really want people to sponsor. And after watching the video, you also can also share. We have a YouTube channel where you can subscribe and share the program as much as you can, both on our Facebook. We have ladies here in the house to introduce themselves so that we know ourselves better. I'm Osaki Teresa George. I train people on market applications. I'm also gender-based advocate. I'm also a network connector and some other smaller things I do attached to myself.
My name is Grace Oge Onoha, and I'm a business opportunity broker. I'm a coach on mindset and skill set. I help people make 6 to 7 figure incomes, sharing opportunities that are beneficial to health and wellness. I'm an amputee and I'm based in Port Harcourt.
Good to be here. My name is Oluwatomi Adiefa. I'm based in Abeokuta, the capital of the state. I'm a broadcast journalist, a freelancer, gender and disability rights advocate. I also work with Angel Wings Global Freedom Foundation. Feels good to be here once again. Thank you.
My name is Freki Andrew Estienne. I'm the founding executive director of Faith Care Foundation, a non-profit organization that provides step-gap support services to different vulnerable groups. I'm based in River State. I'm also a public health professional and a member of Bold Hearts Network.
I'm Alukunela. I live in Abuja. I'm a civil servant, a polio survivor, and an advocate. Thank you.
This program is Bold TV, beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities, where we talk about disabilities and issues related to disabilities. The program is being powered by Bold Heart Initiative. Today's topic we'll talk about is the power of listening. Listening is something that is it's a communication skill. It's part of how you listen. It's something that you have to really pay attention. It's something that you cannot do without, but most times we like sidelining it. So I'll go around and let's digest on how the power of listening can go, because most times we interchange listening and hearing, but they are 2 different things. It's either you hear well or you listen well. They are not the same. They sound even different, but most times with the understanding of persons as listening and hearing are the same thing. So today we want to talk about it, that they are not the same, but they are different, but they are both communication skills that we could pass our information. People are mixing up listening and hearing, and let's know the difference.
All right, thank you very much, Osaki, for that question. In layman's terms, I mean, when we're, for instance, you have a phone call, for instance, and the person is saying, can you hear me? Sometimes you reply, say, I can hear you. And, you know, in an instance, when the person says, are you listening? It means that, for instance, can you hear me means that maybe there's a network interference. Maybe something happened and the network tripped up, and the person wants to be sure he or she is still audible with you over the phone. And then the person asks, can you hear me? And then you say yes or no, I cannot hear you. Now, if the person asks, are you listening? It means that the interference is from your own end. It means that probably you are a bit distracted and the person can feel it over the phone. And so with that illustration, I would say that there is a huge difference between hearing and listening. I can hear and not listen, but there is no way I can listen and not hear. So it means hearing is the ability for you to be able to process sounds, to say, okay, somebody is speaking, a dog is barking, a cat is, making sound. You can hear it, your auditory nerves are working. That is simply hearing. But it takes a little bit more to listen. It means that when you're listening, you're not just hearing the person, you are assimilating whatever is being said. It means that you are processing whatever it is being said. It means that you are following whatever is being said. So you can hear and not listen. So for instance, if I'm not interested in what Osaki is saying, I can just be hearing her and I'm not listening. But if I'm so interested in whatever Osaki has to say, I will listen. And so listening requires a little bit more effort. It requires attention. It requires commitment. It requires the ability to process thoughts, opinions, and ideas. So I think that's one basic difference we should note between hearing and listening. Thank you.
When it comes to effective communication, there ought to be someone speaking and someone also listening attentively. Because if you want to solve problems, you need to know what the problem is so that you can be able to give solutions to that problem. So many times, too many people do not listen, probably because they have something to say about something. And maybe because that's not their own view about that thing. They are just hearing that person. In fact, that person is making noise as far as they are concerned. And they are just waiting for the person to finish so that they can say what is on their mind. Sometimes the person doesn't even get to finish and then they just pick up the matter and start speaking their mind. And it is wrong because that's where argument comes in. Everybody feels hot. Allow me, I have a better idea. I am bringing up a better solution and all that. So if you want to be a good leader, you need to be a good listener, because only when you can listen to those around you, whether your followers or people that you look up to as mentors, that's the only way you can be able to service people better. But if you want it to always be your own opinion all the time, your followers are going to mess you up. They may be hearing what you're saying, but they are not listening to you because you don't listen to them. Thank you.
Beautiful contribution. So I'm sure these two, my two ladies are expatiate on listening and hearing, that there are two different things, even while we interchange them like it's one. Honestly, they are not the same. They are two different things. You could hear and you're not listening. So I'll move to my next question, which I'm going to ask. Freki, how important listening is for women and girls with disability / the persons living with disabilities with regard to interactions with each other and persons without disability? So how is it important to us interaction with ourselves and also with persons without disabilities?
All right, thanks for the question. So to reiterate, you said, how is it important for women with disabilities, putting it to the wider audience, persons with disabilities, in their interaction with fellow persons with disabilities or with the wider community, that's persons without disabilities. Listening for women with disabilities or persons with disabilities is very crucial in developing lasting relationships, whether within the disability cluster or outside of the disability cluster. Every human being is a social creature. In fact, there's one thing that I remember from growing up, they say no man is an island, simply meaning that no man exists, no woman exists on their own. So listening is key in building not just any relationship, but deep, meaningful, and lasting relationships. For persons with disabilities, we have different relationships. Some of them go vertical, some of them go horizontal. They are all very crucial to our existence, because if we are just talking, if we are just speaking, then not listening, we would not be very good at responding or sensing opportunities. For example, in developing relationships, let's say within the family, for a woman with disability, relating to family members, let's say you have a primary caregiver within your family set, okay? And you have broken down communication where, for example, the person is going through maybe burnout, but you are not hearing the person because, in your own opinion, the person should help you, the person should be there for you. It can lead to a breakdown in that relationship where the person is no longer giving you 100% of your time because you're not listening to the person. You're insisting on, you're supposed to take care of me, you're my primary caregiver. So that's an example of how listening can be crucial in a relationship. Relationships are important to everyone, including women and girls with disabilities. And the ability to listen can lead to developing lasting and deep relationships. The ability to not listen can lead to breakdown of key relationships. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Amazing contribution. You see how important the power of listening could be within our own cycle and within the cycle of persons with disabilities. So when it comes to communication, like what you just said, that fact of your caregiver and you, it's very, very necessary. Please add up to what she just said. Still on that same question, how can women with disabilities, persons with disabilities, within ourselves communicate and listen, and also with the broader society of persons with disability, the communication skill?
Communication is very important, like Becky has said, in relationship. When you don't communicate, your life will be in danger. It will put a person with disability in danger. You will not know what is happening around your environment. And also, the caregiver, when you don't listen, you may not understand, or the person may not understand the information they want to pass. So communication, listening is very important because it passes information, important information. And also without listening, you may miss a lot of things. It may cause violence. It may cause violence. It may prevent you from, making you to miss opportunities. Like someone can be hearing without listening, paying attention. But when you listen, when you listening, it helps you to analyze what you have heard, then I choose the one that you will do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ine. That's a very good contribution. Still on that same question, I just had to add up something, short comment. Like within our own cycle, persons living with disabilities, we have different disabilities, and at times we just term ourselves as one. We just want to have persons, polio survivors, and with spinal cord injury. At times, if you don't look carefully, you think they're having the same issues. It's not, because I know of friends and even me that were polio survivors. We could crawling or other forms of movement, it's possible. But some persons that have spinal cord injury, other form of movement is difficult. So they might not be able to come down to maybe crawl or something. And you're like, are you not living with it? Why can't you crawl? As long as you don't listen when is complaining that, sorry, I cannot do this. Once you don't listen, you will not be able to help or be able to understand, because you're not listening to the person is complaining of, sorry, in my own case, I cannot do this. Not because I don't want to do it, because of this circumstance, I won't be able to. So you have to listen so that we can understand ourselves better without any grievance or complaining. So that takes us into our next question that says that since you're on the power of listening, what are the consequences when you don't listen? Because listening has a very, very strong influence on everybody, including and especially women with disabilities. So I'd like Grace to help us on that question. What are the just one or two consequences that you know that could affect a woman with disability when she does not listen?
Someone might be speaking so loud that you cannot really understand or process. And someone can be speaking so low that you can understand every bit of what he's saying and then do something about that which the person is saying. For example, if somebody is nagging, let's say a nagging wife, 95% of the time, the husband is not listening and he's going to do what's on his mind, probably beat up the woman or not even do any of those things that she's nagging about just to irritate her the more, you understand? But someone can be saying something that is hurting him in a very, calm way, touching way, that even you by the side, you feel it, you understand, and do something about it. So it's not how loud you speak that determines how someone will assimilate or pay attention to you and do something. It's the way you present your speech that also determines how your listener is going to take it and what actions he's going to take. The consequences of not listening is that there's going to be a misconception. The two persons are going to misunderstand themselves, and it could even lead to a breakup or a fight, or more of that thing that is happening to continue getting worse, because everybody wants to be a boss on his own decision. You understand? Nobody wants to listen to the other person. So things will continue to go bad. Something that would have been sorted out in split seconds, but because everybody is on his own opinion, it must be this way, it must be this way. At the end of the day, something little will now become something complex that cannot be controlled by the two of them. Probably they will need to settle it somewhere else. So that's the consequences. And it happens in families a lot. There's always disagreements. Those things started very little, but if they were understanding, listening to each other, those things would have been sorted, because there's nobody that is an island. Everybody has his own issue, but it's our ability to understand each other that helps us sort out problems. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Consequences of not listening as a woman with a disability. You'll be shortchanged. Let me just put it that way. I recently did a course on negotiation, and one of the tenets of negotiation is listening. So when you come to the table, a conversation table, a deliberation table, and you need to talk to the other person, and you're just talking and not listening, or perhaps you are not even interested in talking, but at the same time you're not listening. There's a probability that when the negotiation is brought to bear, you will lose out, because probably what you should be paying attention to, you're not paying attention to it. And so you'll be on the losing end. And of course, when you also do not listen, you tend to walk blindly. And I use that word blindly very loosely. It's not about the disability now. But if you are not listening, it means that probably a basic or an important information has been passed and you're not paying attention. You're not even caring to look. You notice that you walk blindly, and then mistakes abound. You make mistakes, you make errors, regrettable ones at that, because what you should have been paying attention to, you're not paying attention to it. And we see it play out in our daily lives. For instance, you open a WhatsApp group, you say, okay, this and this is what we expect you to post here. Just as you're saying it, somebody is flouting that order. Like somebody is going against that rule, just as you're saying, just as you're talking about it. So it means that not paying attention, not listening with all your senses, your five senses now, would put you on the losing end, would make you walk blindly and carelessly, and you're also bound to make mistakes when you don't listen.
So I think key within the disability community and the consequence, a negative consequence of not listening is the effect that it has on disability advocacy. A good advocate is one that listens, because if you do not listen, you will not know the problems that you need to respond to by doing your advocacy. Because I found that within the disability community, when people are speaking on disability, they tend to not sometimes speak to the issue on ground, and then they make blanketed statements, and sometimes it is watered down. It's good to understand an issue to advocate for it, even though we are all disability advocates. When you look critically at an issue, you can do what we call strategic advocacy. So for me, I think that for women and girls with disabilities, for persons with disabilities who have determined and said that this disability awareness or advancing the rights of persons with disabilities, that a key skill to develop would be listening. You wonder why sometimes the wider society doesn't want to hear, because it's like we've heard it before, there's nothing new to be said, or you're not speaking to our direct concerns. So a consequence of not listening is that you would not be able to advocate properly, or you will not be a good disability advocate.
Okay, so let's go to the next question. Frankie, now we talked about so much about listening. Now, how do we activate this? Because I wonder, how do I activate this? How do I get be a better listener?
How can we then develop listening skills? I'll use myself as an example. I'm a very forward person. I also have a lot of opinions about things. I also am the first daughter. First daughter in my family are strong women. We are not my women. So I needed to realize that listening had a lot more to do with responding and not reacting. They're not the same thing. Reacting involved too much of my emotions. It was involving too much of adrenaline, you know. But I found that responding needs me to breathe, analyze, internalize, reflect, and then give an answer. So I'm using myself, I'm not even going far, is that I realized that I needed to stop reacting, rather respond. And that helps me in the area of listening. So whoever is out there, one of the ways you can gain and learn to be a better listener is stop reacting in the moment. What I used to do is that I'll react and then I'll go back, think about it, then I'll come back. I'll go back, reflect. But I found that I need to be able to learn to respond per time. That's in the present, not go back, come back. So this is one of the key ways that one can learn to be a better listener. Because trust me, it's nothing like listening. There's a lot of wealth of knowledge out there. You don't know everything. So listening is key. So I'll just put that. And then if there's time, I can come back and give more using myself. Thank you.
Okay. How to activate the power of listening is that number one is that you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention when you are listening. Second is that don't allow anything to distract you. And sometimes the person that is speaking may be distracted. Just be patient with the person that is speaking. Be patient with the person. Then so that even if gets back his or herself, you can now get the information. And also being open-minded. and also concentrating. You understand? Sometimes, because of burdens or maybe some of the things that a person is passing through, they may not like to listen to whatever someone is saying. But when you forget about anything that is surrounding you and focus on what is being said by that time, concentrate and pay attention, you get the information that you need. It will make you not to be in danger. It will make you it will make you to be secure. It will make you to be confident after hearing and after listening and getting the information that you want. Thank you.
I just want to add that when you speak, you learn nothing. It is what you know that you're talking about, and other people are learning from you. But when you listen, you learn something new. John Maxwell taught us that be a good listener. That was one of his topics. Yes, so he says, when you listen, you learn something new. But when you are the one speaking, you don't have something new to learn. Other people are learning from you. So if you're someone that always wants to speak, and you don't listen, try to keep mute and pay attention and have a writing pad and jot down something. Definitely, you must learn something. Even if you know it before, you will learn another perspective to that which you already know. Thank you.
When you're speaking, and this for both ways, so I just want to give a practical example. So, I mean, earlier I talked about the difference between hearing and listening. So one of the ways you can practice listening is by practicing active listening. So if somebody speaks to you, you'll be like, can I say back what you said so that I'm sure that I got you? So you can do that. And vice versa. If you're speaking to someone, you can ask the person, can you tell me what I said so that I'm sure you got me? So you can do that back and forth. And then you find out if the person actually comprehended, because listening has a lot to do with comprehension of what is being said and being able to respond to what has been said. So
just to add up to all what we've said concerning how to activate the power of listening, I'll just say that one is an intentional act. It's something you can practice every day. That's see, I'll take my time and listen to what people are saying, as in just listen, not react like what you gave, responding and reacting. Just listen, then you know how to respond. It's something that you can practice every day so you can be a better listener. And also, it's like someone suggested that can it be taught in school on how to listen, because we're doing that topic of reading, writing. Why can't we add listening too? Because we are almost missing it out. If school curriculum add it up, like know how to listen so that you can communicate better. And also, I would like to say, put the person that is talking in your space, so that because once someone is talking and you're listening, all attention and the spotlight, it's on that person. So you wish you are like that, because you will not find it funny if you're communicating, you're talking and nobody's listening. So you try and put yourself in that person's shoe and listen so you can get the information the person is trying to say. Amazing. That's all contributions, all on power of listening. This final question goes like this. The power of listening, I'm talking about power of listening. How does it affect you? So it's like an advice to persons with disabilities and also to the general public without disabilities. What can you say, or give an illustration of the power of listening? What has it done for you in person, as a person? Something happened recently. I was at the graduation party of a friend that just got a doctorate degree, and she's living with a disability. So in part of her speech that she was saying, because I was just listening to her, and she talked about the stress she went through, and also how she overcame those stress for her to get a doctorate degree. So as one with the disability, it's not easy schooling in Nigeria. So you think all the struggles and all the front and back movement is undergraduate. So it's even so funny and strange that even a doctorate degree, you will still pass through almost what you went through as an undergraduate. So because of the accessibility and all the rest, it's really not easy. So from that conversation I heard from her, it's like, okay, this thing is there. So it's just to make up your mind and take the solution of the power of listening and see how far you can go with life. So for her to get a doctorate degree is something like it's possible, because she did like, okay, she's not even the first I've seen, but her own story is different from what I've heard when it comes to one with disability getting a doctorate degree. So with our own story, it's like it's your own turn. When I go to start your own process, so you can have a doctorate degree like the way she did. So that's a strong power of listening to me. So I would like everybody to give us maybe an instance or situation, whatever it is that you've gotten when it comes to the power of listening. So I'll start with Thomas.
Okay, power of listening. I used to be a very reactive person. And that's because, like Frankie said, I'm a little bit forward. Yoruba will say, you are too jumpy. And so I noticed that over time, I just get angry over any and everything. Even conversations that we are supposed to have and just laugh about it, I take it to heart. And it means that I'm putting a lot of unnecessary energy into so many unnecessary things. And so people found out that I wasn't very much approached. I mean, you have to be standing on eggshells around me. And the result for me was not comforting. Some of the things that I would naturally benefit because, I'm around, people will take it past me because they feel that if we tell her now, she'll take offense. If we tell her now, she'll not listen well. If we tell her now, she'll not follow instruction. If we tell her, so a lot of if, and then I kept losing out on things. I kept losing out on opportunity until, I sat back and realized that life is not hard. So why do I need to make it hard on myself? Sometimes if you don't understand a particular thing, it's better to ask than jumping into your own conclusions and assumptions. That way, you've not communicated either from your end or from the other person's end. So I started practicing how to listen. I started practicing how to be a receiver and not always wanting to be heard. Sometimes you just have to listen to the other person and see where you can compromise, see where you can adjust from your own end and all of that. And I mean, listening for me has now become a basic tool that I must have. I mean, it's something that I can't do without right now because, for instance, when you're in the field of counseling, conflict resolution and all of those things, you cannot but have listening skills. You cannot, because in that way lies your win. When you're able to listen, that way you can detect something that on a normal day you would have just overlooked, and then it will come back and haunt you or come back at you in the end. So the power of listening has helped in my career. It has placed me at an advantage where I'm able to see things clearly without adding emotions. I'm able to accept what should be accepted and reject firmly and politely what should be rejected. So for me, the power of listening has placed me in that point where I can, relate with people. I can feel people because you also get to feel the other person's point of view. You also get to, so it has helped me to see things beyond my own myopic vision. It has helped me to be broad-minded. It has also helped me to be broad-minded, open-minded, having the ability to take corrections and criticism. Yes. So I think that's what the power of listening has done for me.
Speaking on the power of listening, I would love to say that listening is a powerful tool and is a powerful marketing tool Yes, because I'm a network marketer. Yes, so a digital marketer. Yes, so most times what I do is I coach people in that industry how to, close up people in their business. And one of the things I tell them, one of the skills I teach them is ATQ strategy. ATQ simply means ask the question. There's a book by Alan Pease. He said, questions are the answers. You want to close up more people? Ask the question. Yes, because when you ask the question, you have an opportunity to listen to them from their hearts, and you are able to take care of the heart of the matter. And when you are able to take care of that problem from the heart, people will give in to whatever you want to say. You understand? So I teach people to ask the question. And one of the questions that we do during ATQ is, when you have already built some level of relationship, you could ask your friend, what I'm teaching is an online marketing skill. You could ask your friend this question: do you keep your options open when it comes to health? Or do you keep your options open when it comes to increasing your finances? Then you listen. So this has really helped my people to know which people are right for their business, because you can't force people on opportunities without their own consent. Even when it comes to adding people in your group, you need to ask them, would you want me to add you to my group so that you can get more information about this? You seek their consent, they tell you yes. Reason why most people leave the group is because you did not respect them enough to tell them what this group is all about. You just put them in there. It's wrong. So when you learn to ask the right questions, you are going to reduce rejections. You're going to have only quality people. That's another skill again, OQP strategy. So you have only quality people who understand and can duplicate what you are doing. So asking the question is number one skill that every leader or someone who wants to have more people in his life or business should do. Thank you.
The most important is paying attention, being attentive, and also concentration. Don't allow your disability or anything that is anything, any issue that you have in life to distract you. Paying attention also, and also asking for clarification. Sometimes you'll be confused, maybe you don't understand. Don't be shy. Like, how can I ask this kind of question? Don't be free, ask for clarification, and it will explain to you. Thank you.
I would like to say that listening is something that can help you grow. I've seen it in my life, how listening has helped me to grow as a person. It can help in personal development, in professional development, in all forms of development. So listening is key. As a person with disability, listening is also key for advocacy. I've said that earlier. As a person with disability, listening is key in maintaining relationships. All of these have been very fundamental for me, because it's not just about how you speak or hearing, it's about how it's being done. So learning to listen is crucial for everyone. And I'm hoping that we've taken this on as PWDs. You see, our motto is nothing about us without us. But if you're someone who comes into a space and then you're also not listening to that space to know the vibrations, to know what's happening in that space, you will not be a very good contributor to that space. So while we say nothing about us without us, I'm asking every person with disability that wherever you find yourself, that you represent us well. And one of the key skills that you will need is powerful listening skills, so that you can listen to the situation, speak to the issues, profess solution. Everybody should work. I mean, listening has helped me to be a solution bearer. I like, I've said it before here, I like moving ideation to, that's moving passion to profiting, or passion to reality, or that's moving it out of the head. I like the process of moving someone's idea into reality. So, and you can only do that if you actually listen and hear what the person is saying. Because sometimes I found that if you're listening to the person, The person is thinking, oh, this may be where I'm going to, but you're hearing the person and you're hearing something else. And you just bring it and the person like, sir, and that can only come with listening. So for me, listening has helped me in my profession. It has helped me personally. It has helped me in disability advocacy. It has helped me in child rights advocacy. It has helped me, and to continue to help me. And listening has helped me not to lose important friendships.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm so grateful about our great answers. The power of listening, how important and how we should cultivate the habit of listening. I know somebody out there is listening. Somebody out there is watching. If you've not been listening, please start now to cultivate every day of your life to see how much you can listen. So you can gather much more information and be effective in your own life. Thank you very much. I'm so grateful about our great answers. The power of listening, how important and how we should cultivate the habit of listening. This program is being powered by Bold Heart Initiative. We come to you live every Saturday by 10:30 a.m. These different women, different guest speakers, but we have major 4 or 5 women that you always see their face on this program. And we would like you to sponsor us if you want to, or if you think the program is interesting to you and you are learning and you want to know more about disabilities. But that's what we really stress on here: disability issues and issues related to disabilities. So we want you to watch our videos, go to our YouTube channels, subscribe, share, both on Facebook. Whenever you see our video, please share and share. Let it go around. So I'd like the ladies in the house, please unmute your mic and say something nice or just okay.